Hello, I'm Amy. I'm going to be talking to you about fitness today and the importance of exercise, particularly in these unprecedented times when everybody is going to be retreating into isolation. We won't have the same access to public spaces or gyms or group exercise classes, and now more than ever is a time when we really want to be keeping our bodies healthy, our minds healthy, and we all know that there is that intrinsic link between moving your body, releasing endorphins, and giving you that mental wellness boost. But how we go about doing that when we're all being instructed to live indoors and we're wanting to do so to protect ourselves and protect those around us, how we actually do that and get our fitness levels, keep our fitness levels up, get the right equipment around us, or know where to go to get the adequate exercise that we want whilst we're living at home, whilst we're living more of a sedentary lifestyle, which ultimately could lead to us feeling a bit rubbish. So we want to try and mitigate that as much as possible by finding ways to use our homes, to use the spaces and the equipment that is available to us to be able to keep our fitness up, keep our bodies moving, keep those endorphins releasing, and keep our mental health in check. So today I'm going to be giving you some warm-up exercises to do, and then later on this week I'm going to be doing Technique 101s, which is going to just be running through the technique of the majority of the key exercises that we'll be using in the programmes, which will be starting next week. Technique is extremely important. I myself have experienced horrible injuries from exercises over the years, not knowing what I was doing, flinging myself around in HIIT classes and goodness knows what, and kind of living under the umbrella of no pain, no gain. I mean, foolish. And that is one reason that I got into personal training, was for rehabilitation purposes for myself, and also being able to help other people achieve real strength and fitness without having to compromise their safety and without putting them in the firing line for potential injury. So technique is key. So we're going to be having some technique sessions where we're going to run through those exercises, which will be coming up next week. So when we start doing the programs next week, you can hit the ground running, knowing what you're doing. But today is going to be about warming up and cooling down, which is extremely important and is often overlooked or done for, a minute. We want to do a proper warm-up and cool down so that our joints and our muscles, our ligaments, our tendons are ready for what's about to come in the exercise part of your session. So we want to get full range of motion and movement in those joints. We want to release the synovial fluid in our joints so that our joints are lubricated, so that moving is going to be a lot easier, have more flow, and again is going to mitigate injury. So let's get going with a good old warm-up. We're going to do these warm-up exercises before any session. So if a warm-up isn't included in any of the programs going forward, please do make sure that you do these warm-up exercises before you start any video of mine of exercise that doesn't include a warm-up in that session. So let's get going. So I've got my mat here. You don't need a mat. All you need is space that is kind of, I'd say, 3 widths of yourself. So we're going to start with some leg swings. So we're going to warm up our hips. So let's do 8 on each side. 8 on each side. You might hear my clicky hip going. Warm-ups are always the time that you hear those clicky joints having a little party. And that's precisely why we want to do these warm-ups, to lubricate those joints. So remember, your hip joint is a ball and socket joint, so we want to make sure that we're getting that full range of motion, warming up the entire joint. 1 more on each side. Now we're going to go into a squat. So we'll cover the technique of this in the Technique 101. But the key points are push your bum back, Don't go too low so that your bottom dips, and keep your knees behind your toes. That's just going to protect your knee joint. 2 more of these. Okay, so we're going to do a lateral lunge. So we're just going to dip down here, making sure that your knee follows the direction of your foot. So the way your toes are pointing is the direction that your knee is going to go in. So just lunge down. Again, make sure your knee doesn't go over your toes. Excellent. Arm rolls. So again, we want to get that full range of motion in your shoulder direction. You do a sprawl next to open up nice and wide, but we're going to add a rotation to warm up your spine. One more each side. Now we're going to keep the hands still and just rotate round. Really important to warm up your spine. Keeping with the spine, we're going to do a roll down. So keep your abs engaged with this one. The idea is to not just flop forward, you want to control it. So you're articulating your vertebrae, each one vertebrae at a time. Curl down, just go as low as you comfortably can. Do not bounce, none of this to try and get low. Just hang there nice and loose. And then we're going to come back up, same principle, tuck your pelvis under. Okay, kneeling down. So we're going to over-exaggerate that. And step, so taking a big step. Really lean into it. So this is going to open your hip flexor. So lean into that front knee, really push forward. Again, make sure that knee is behind your toes. So we're going to drop our opposite hand down inside that foot now and twist around, look up to your fingers or as far around as you can to get that full rotation. Come back down, straight back up. Perfect. Come back, push back. So we're going to stretch out the hamstring now, toes up to the sky. Really feel that stretch here, push your bum back just to where it's comfortable for you. Point your toe and up. One more. Great. And now we're going to pop your foot down, and I just want you to hinge forwards and back. Forwards and back. So this is prepping us for what's to come in the exercise phase. So change legs. Big step forward, open up this hip flexor. So if you have a desk job, chances are you're pretty tight in your hip flexor and probably quite tight in your shoulders too. So your hip flexor is going to be tight because you're sitting at a desk for a long time, so you're shortening that part, you're shortening your hip flexor. So this is a great exercise to really stretch that out. So that's why you want to really lean into that front leg, really let that open up. Okay, we're dropping our hand down the side of foot, reach round, look up and down. Last one. Push back, toes up to the sky, stretch out that hamstring. This is a really good time to see what imbalances there are from your left and right side. You'll often find that one side is tighter than the other, or one side is stronger than the other. My left side is my tighter side, also my stronger side. If you feel like you need to do these stretches for a little bit longer, then please do. But just note that you shouldn't hold a stretch for longer than 30 seconds, a static stretch. Okay, so let's come on up. Let's just stretch out your triceps. This will be used in a warm-up and a cool-down. Just note that you want to push on the muscle rather than the joint. So hands coming down the back here. Other side. Interlace your fingers behind your back, open up your chest, imagine there's a string from your heart all the way up to the sky. Now it's quite a nice time to just think about gratitude, general gratitude, grateful of having this wonderful body of ours and what we're about to do with it. Move it. Give it some exercise, warming up. Drop your chin. And then lastly, just turn to the side and then look down. Back, side, down. There you go. So that's a really good warm up. We've done all of our joints. Now I'm just going to run through some cool down exercises. You could basically use the same thing, but cool down exercises tend to be more static holds. So we'll just run through some of those, and these are going to be the cool down exercises that you want to make sure you incorporate after your sessions that we do together. So let's do a quad stretch. So important, keep your knees together. Get the hamstring. So similar to what we were doing before, toes up to the sky, push your bum back. Good, reach up nice and tall. Inhale, exhale, over to the side. Back to centre. Inhale, and separate those ribs, over to the side. We're going to bring that arm across the body. At the same time, we're just going to step out to the side, so same as with the warm-up. Other side. Calf stretch. Okay, step forward, push that heel back to the floor. Other side. So again, do hold these for longer after you've done the exercise when you want to, but bearing in mind you don't want to hold them for longer than 30 seconds. Okay, lastly, we're just going to stretch out your arms. So just pull your fingers back. Rotate that hand round. It's going to be a nice arm stretch. Other side. Just rotate around. And give it a good old shake. The best bit. Feels really silly, but really do it. Keep it. Fling your fingers. Good work. Okay, so next up we're going to have the 101s, and then we can get into some serious exercise. Enjoy.